What we should probably talk about now, it's, according to Flav, the outsiders for the Premier League title, Liverpool.
No, I didn't say outsiders. I said there will be
Outsiders.
I said Man City will win it, but Liverpool will run them close. It's not outsiders. Like Arsenal are outsiders, Chelsea are outsiders. I don't know why you're doing this. And continue to do this every time. What do you want me to say?
What do you want to say?
I'm going to say that if they get Isak, it would be the best transfer window I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You think they can suddenly afford it, right? Because
Luis
Luis Diaz is gone. They're going to sell Harvey Elliott, 30, 40 million.
Mate, I was listening to Stefan Borson on TalkSport, who does all of the financial, but he's like my go-to financial bloke, right? And I don't have a good command of that world. I find the financial chat a little bit dull, so I just need like the top lines. And he breaks it down so well. But the bottom line was that Liverpool can sign Isak, even if they don't sell, and still be clear of PSR.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, they're laughing then.
Same, and then they haven't even pulled the Chelsea trick where they can generate cash by injecting it by selling women's teams to ourselves and stuff like that.
Do you think it would honestly? I think that's quite an interesting. That's me.
We're all going to do it. Arsenal will do it at some stage. Villa have done it. Spurs will.
Mate, you said something quite interesting there, Flav.
Oh, wow.
You think it's the best transfer window of all time if they get Isak?
It'd be hard to argue. I think it's a sensational window.
Debate. The one that always comes into my mind is Chelsea, Drogba, Carvalho, Robben, Cech.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
Yeah, we won the league as well. And
do you think that these signings, if Isak will inevitably go there, I think that makes them favourite in your opinion?
Mate, I feel like it is the most clear winner of a Premier League title.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I mean, I hope you're correct. I hope you're correct, and we have a title race, and it's nip and tuck, and maybe we have a 4-horse race for the league, and it's all still to play for in late March, late May even. But realistically, I just feel like Liverpool will be 15 points clear by the end of January.
No,
I really do.
That's a bold take.
I really do. I just can't
Liverpool
see who
an
can.
Interesting one, because nobody expected them to do what they did last season, right? And listen, full credit to them. They lost 2 games along the way. It was a sensational campaign. Arne Slot deserves all the praise in the world. What you're seeing now, though, is Arne Slot starting to make it his own team. What he did last season was tweak some things that Jurgen Klopp already had in place and allow Liverpool to find that extra bit. What I will say about them last season is they wouldn't have run away with it had Arsenal and Man City been up to speed. That's not to take away from Liverpool. They probably still would have won it, but they wouldn't have won it by the margin that they did. I don't think they would.
What was it, 10 points?
But in the end, it was something like that.
Do you know what, though? You know when people say it was a slightly underwhelming campaign for Liverpool, and I don't agree with this, but you know when you look at the points tally, what was it, 84?
Yeah, but hold on. Let me just clarify. I'm not saying that for them it was an underwhelming season. I'm saying they probably still win it, but I think we have more of a title race, in which case, going into this season coming up now, people might not be saying that they're going to run away with it.
Yeah, that's true.
See what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But the reason why I feel like it was so impressive from Liverpool is, okay, they did only accrue 84 points, I believe. But the reason that they only accrued 84 points was because they never heard hooves. In there, no one was ever chasing them down. No one made the reason why Liverpool hit 97, or the reason why Man City hit 98 points that season was because Liverpool hit 97. If Liverpool had hit 83, it's very unlikely Man City would have hit the 98.
Yeah. The last month or so was at a canter, wasn't it, really?
Yeah. You on the phone?
I'm just trying to find the list of their signings, so I don't want to miss any. But you've got the Bournemouth left back who's
Kirkers.
Class. You got Florian Wirtz, could be the signing in the summer.
Yeah.
If they buy Isak, who's arguably
TK already.
I don't know what they're going to do with all these players, but they're definitely not going to have a shortage of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they sign Isak, I don't know what they do with Ekitike. I don't know. Is he going to play off the left?
They potentially do a 2, because Ekitike played up front in a 2 with Marmoush at Frankfurt. So they potentially do a 2 at points. They potentially do a 3 at points, and Ekitike goes wide. At times, Ekitike can go through the middle. I just think, I agree with you. I just think that they are so strong. And it's also the noise. You know, the Ekitike signing, I was away that week, right? And I did my bet. I've got this new app on my phone where I put social media apps. Don't know if you're aware of this, right? You can get these apps and you can put other apps in it, and it means you can't go on there. So you can go, I'm only allowed on this app from 7:30 till 8 in the evening, and that's it.
How much time have you been?
You want to talk about this, mate? It was horrific.
Really?
Yeah, I had a reflex. Every time I pick up my phone, I just click Instagram or click Twitter.
Yeah.
And it was I didn't like it. I didn't like my kind of addiction, I guess.
Yeah.
So I've got this app anyway that I thought for holiday I'm going to put them in there. Meant I could only do half hour on social media. I went to bed one night means I can't go on for 24 hours. And Ekitike, from the last I read, was a Newcastle player. So I had a whole 24-hour period where Hugo Ekitike was a Newcastle player. And I was kind of rationalising that. I was like, okay, that's big from Newcastle. That's interesting. What's that going to mean for Chelsea, who are, Newcastle could be a rival, particularly with Ekitike? What does it mean for the rest of the Premier League? None of it was true, because basically Liverpool just started making phone calls and went and took a player from under a major rival, a Champions League rival's nose. It's a statement.
Imagine if Marianakis had owned Newcastle and they'd done that. It'd be like, you ain't leaving. You can go and sit in the dungeon.
I did think that it was a really bold move because it's a statement about who they are. It's like
it's muscle flexing. Isn't
muscle flex. We're champions
in the way that only the champions can do.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you a little bit think we should have waited for Isak if he was suddenly available, or because there's no chance Arsenal didn't know that he was available or wanted out? Everyone would have known.
Don't you think it's just going to Liverpool, Flav? Don't you think everyone knows how this?
So that's why
Arsenal.
I think
the powerful people at Arsenal know.
Yeah, I think Arsenal would have asked the question, but I think for Arsenal, it's probably. Look, I'm not saying that he would have chosen Arsenal over Liverpool. I'm not going to sit here and play that game, but I do think that Arsenal would have been put off by the asking price in a way that Liverpool weren't.
What do you reckon it is?
I reckon that we'll read the news at some point. You're going to pick up the back page of a paper, and the headline will be Liverpool bid 125, and once that bid's in,
it's done, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, they've already turned his head.
You
know, the minute that they made
he's
that
not gone
inquiry,
to Hong Kong, has he?
He's not gone on the tour.
He's
Eddie Howe's trying desperately to kind of dance around the subject every time he's asked, but you can see right through it. He's struggling with
it's
it.
such a statement again from Liverpool.
Yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
It's like, you're right. The phrase you used there, muscle flexing, and you're right. Again, it's a champion's move. You just go and you take the best from. Fergie did it every year.
And some of the best business that Liverpool have done hasn't even happened in this window. It was before the window. It was the signing of Mo Salah up. It was getting Virgil van Dijk to stay. Yeah. If those two are at the same level, by default, Liverpool are title challengers, let alone on top of all the business that they've done as well.
Yeah.
Harry,
that's why I think 15 points.
8 months. Yeah, I mean, you may be right, but not by January, but maybe by the end. But eight months ago, we were saying Liverpool are in a bit of turmoil. They were winning the league. They were potentially losing their best three players. They've lost one that was always going to go.
Do you think Trent Alexander-Arnold is regretting?
No, of course not.
No. I don't think you can regret going to Real Madrid. I think there's just something about Real Madrid. Like, I know Liverpool fans were particularly upset by it and they didn't like the way it all came about. But I think in the cold light of day, when the dust settles, they'll look back and say it was
If they can prize Ronaldo from Manchester United, they can do whatever they want. And they do.
Do you empathise with this at all, Flav? You know the goings on at Newcastle this season?
Yeah. I mean, I don't empathise. I don't care really, but I don't.
No, but you've lived this a bit.
I understand.
Harry Kane every year was linked, wasn't he?
I understand the situation, but I don't care if Isak leaves or goes. But the Harry Kane situation was the same. He had 2 or 3 years left on his contract, and we just said, "You're not going. You're not leaving." But Harry Kane came from our academy, similarly to the Trent thing. He was never going to not show up. He was never going to go on strike. So, despite there being a gentleman's agreement, he was always going to do his best.
More professional. Do you agree with this theory? I wholeheartedly don't, but let's discuss it. It would be good for Newcastle to sell Isak, get in as much as you possibly can, and use that money. I guess the phrase is often labelled the Coutinho effect.
Oh,
right?
What a load of nonsense.
Completely agree.
That is...
You don't sell him.
Completely.
It's very, very rare
completely
that a club is able to take one step back by making a sale like that and then reinvest all of the money in such a smart way that it then takes them beyond where they were at the start.
We sold Bale and bought 7 players, and 1.5 of them did all right.
Yeah, Soldado, wasn't it? Lamela, Soldado,
Kirikesh, Ericsson, Chadley.
Nasser Chadley.
Yeah. And Gareth
Paulinho?
Yeah, Paulinho. So I think it was. You're right. Selling Isak isn't going to guarantee anything. There's rumours about them going after Sesko now, which they could financially do. Whether they can convince him to come is another thing. Paul Mitchell, the director of football, said something interesting about Eddie Howe and about the whole setup, and it was very blatant and kind of sort of abrasive comment that Eddie Howe and Newcastle is along these lines don't have the draw. They have to change the way they operate because these players are not going to come.
Well, do you remember Roy Keane talking about it when he was Sunderland manager? When Roy Keane was Sunderland manager, he just couldn't convince players to say. I think he said it was the WAG. This is a quote from him. He said the WAGs just won't move to to Sunderland.
No.
So yeah, no, it's an impactful summer for Newcastle.
If they
not
could
in the way.
spend their money, though, I think that changes.
Yeah.
But the fact that they can't, and the fact that they've got to work within these very strict parameters, means that they cannot overcome the issues that they have.
Strict parameters that they voted for, by the way.
Yeah.
I have to make this point all the time.
Also, yeah.
The clubs that voted on these PSR measures are the clubs that belong to the Premier League, including Newcastle.
And
but they can't just go, well, no, everything's changed now. We've got all this oil money. We don't like the rules we voted for.
And I heard your debate on it on TalkSport the other day, Rory.
Yeah.
I think it was you and Max Scott, and he was saying like, the way it's all set up means that the clubs that want to break into...
Doesn't matter. They voted for it.
Exactly.
That is interesting, isn't it?
It's interesting.
And I'm not saying the Saudi backers did.
No. But Newcastle at one point would have been very, very much behind PSR issues.
Because for the betterment of the Premier League, you don't really want a club suddenly being able to obliterate every other. I think the competition last season, I appreciate we didn't have a decent title challenge, but the discrepancy between quality and between the bottom Spurs, who was 17th from the top, wasn't gigantic. And that's the way you want the Premier League to be, competitive. You don't want a club with an abundance of wealth like Manchester City and Chelsea had, where the rules weren't in place, where they just ran away with it. That isn't good for the sport, in my opinion.